This is the Rise of the New Gods video. I'm going to tell you 3 reasons when you relate some of this new God concept back to the haters, the atheist cabals, these kinds of weird, incestuous groups that have risen, kind of young people that are angry. 3 signs that new God is coming. And I do want to complexify it and say that the new God really is more like A.N. Whitehead and Friedrich Nietzsche than it is like a Christian nationalist. I know you didn't understand that. You're not smart like I am. One thing I learned that I do want to attach to this video is this idea that the remnants of philosophy have been carried again, like they were in the dark ages, by seminarians and theologians, which means they've hidden these ideas away. And the example of this is the Bill Maher video with the Vatican when the Vatican guy sounds much more philosophical than any of the atheist haters that think of themselves as scientific and philosophical, but they don't know shit about philosophy. They define philosophy in terms of science. That's what the atheist Kabbalists do. So we're going to talk about 3 things today that the Kabbalists do that really show you through their fear and their resistance and their closed-mindedness the rise of the new God. So it is that they only pick hillbillies for their videos. Now, granted, they did pick me for one of their long videos, and I admire that because I get to see my good looking face on video, but I was pretending to be a hillbilly. Bro, maybe I'm not pretending. Oh, shit. Anyway, I was pretending to kind of be a Trumper or Christian nationalist. They took my video and parsed it out. So they only pick the dumbest people. Why? Why wouldn't they go with someone smart? Now, granted, some of the hillbillies think of themselves as smart. And when you look at somebody like Kirk Cameron, who thinks he's super smart, or some of those wild fake internet Christian people. I forgot that one old dude's name. But the point is, those aren't real people. You're talking about arguing with people that can think. And that's like 1 out of 1 million. They would never do that. Now, granted, the debate would be really hard to flesh out at that point, but they only pick hillbillies and it lacks discussion. It really does if you watch what they do. And that segues to the number 2 sign, which is they always hide their face. Why do they hide their face, bro? I've gotten 3 or 4 in a row now. Even the guy that thought that I was a hillbilly. Sorry that I called you a hillbilly. If you get that line, you're old enough to be mad at atheism. They hide their face. They put socks over their face. They make themselves into puppets and cartoons and all this bullshit. And I know they're trying to be creative. They're creative people. Their creativity got miswired by not going to school long enough. These are people that play video games. I'm not saying that's bad. I might have accidentally, for a friend, played a video game. I'm saying that they skipped out on some of the really critical aspects of academia. And that's how they ended up like this. Because when you're in academia like I was, you don't see this shit. You don't see an atheist cabal. You do get some militant atheism, but it's not cabal-like. An academic is, more than anything else, trained to be aware of the absolute Plato's cave of thinking, which means, well, I could be wrong. Now, I don't think like that. That's clear, but most academics do. That's why I'm not in academics anymore, because they were mad at me for like 50 reasons, probably because I was too good looking and too good of a dancer. That's another video. That's actually another. But they hide their face. They hide from this fear of the retribution of the new God. And I don't blame them. Some of the simple-minded, trite, cliche shit that comes out of their mouth. Come on, bro. If you were in academics, you would probably take that creativity that you have with your stupid puppets and you would do something real with it, which means explore epistemology creatively, whatever that big word means, not creative. So number 1, they pick hillbillies for their videos. Number 2, they hide their face. And number 3, they side with the science, failing science language game. And this is a bigger problem. This is not just atheist cabals. All of the signs of the rising new God is related to the failure of the science language game and the obviousness of that failure, which is to say, I'm going to try to complexify this before you hate. I get so much hate mail about the science stuff, which is awesome. So here's the thing. It's not the scientific method that I'm complaining about. It's not the Baconian, Newtonian introduction to the real and what was evolved scientific method. This is the language game. This is the later stage Fight Club, where you have a game defined by some of those well-meaning introductions, Baconian, Newtonian things that have gone wrong. They've been miswired. Now, granted, this happens in academia. And so this one is too big, too broad, and too motivated by the fact that science has provided things to make our life easier. So because of that, we have a tendency to side with it and fail to understand its limits and its capabilities. And so the atheists really jump on the scientific language game. I get it. They defend science. This isn't about the scientific method. It's about how caught these people are in the propaganda. And so it is the very propaganda that, let's say, Nietzsche complained about with monotheism, that these new atheists, what little they've read, complain about with the history of monotheism, because some of them do know the history. And again, some of them delve into the Bible, which really tells you something's wrong. That's another proof. Number 4, they delve into the Bible. The dumbest thing ever invented. Wait, did I say that? What? Okay, well, you didn't make it this far in the video, so that doesn't matter. Number 3, that they define themselves by a game. They define themselves by a failing scientific language game. In these areas where people are exploring religion, whether they're right or wrong, they do use the remnants of something that might transcend the game-like nature of so many of these religious games, political games, science games, race games, gender games, all of the games, the big American language game, which is like the numinal and contains everything. So they do that, and then part of being caught in a game, first and foremost, is the Plato's cave problem, which means the farther you get in the game, the harder it is to see yourself in the game. And so the cabals do this. They forget that philosophy began all of this stuff, and there's no way to define yourself with some of these scientific elements without going back in time and going back in the literature and saying, this is what the real ways of thinking and knowing are. I've got to start with that and then build my own language approach so that I don't get caught and stuck in a game. The point is, the atheist cabals do 3 things. They pick hillbillies to hide their face, and they side with the game. Those 3 things they do out of fear because they realize the new God is coming. They realize their time is past. They realize on a subconscious level that it is past because of their lack of real intellectual creativity. They haven't evolved. They haven't gone to school, gone through that process where, oh, I like Ayn Rand. Oh, I love just basic science and my interpretation of the scientific method. Oh, what? And then you evolve out of that and you start to go, oh shit, what's really going on? They're not at the oh shit, what's really going on phase. It's not just about age. It really is about critical training and critical conversations that these people aren't having. And the fact that they're continuing to gaslight and rebel is a sign that the new God is scaring them more, and he's back, and let's get ready to party.